The deactivated units become a coordinated sacrifice, creating a massive wall of water to blind the giant. A successful intercept. A brilliant flash of light confirms one less threat, a testament to the ship's layered defenses. One of the hunters is vaporized, a brief, fiery victory in a rapidly escalating conflict. It has no blood to rush from its brain, no lungs that need air. It has only a single purpose, etched in code. The frontal assault is shredded. The swarm's primary attack force is met with overwhelming force and turned into a chain of fireballs. But every storm has its beginning in a moment of calm. 12 hours earlier, the sea was a canvas of perfect peace. Inside the ship's nerve center, all is routine. The rhythmic pulse of the sonar is a lullaby of safety. On the screen, the world is orderly. The digital sea is clear. It's a perfect picture of a world that is about to vanish. A simple morning ritual, a moment of warmth in a world of cold, hard steel and blinking lights. The commander's gaze, the quiet confidence of a leader who believes she has mastered the sea and its secrets. Spoken with the calm assurance of someone who cannot see the ghosts gathering just beyond the horizon. On the deck, sailors perform their duties under a benevolent sun, polishing the weapons of a war they believe is far away. Below the surface, the heart of the giant beats with steady power, its massive propellers churning the water with oblivious force. And there it is, not a shout, but a whisper, a flicker on the screen. It's gone as quickly as it appeared. A ghost in the machine, a trick of the light, or a warning that was just missed. But a sharp eye notices the subtle shift from relaxation to focused curiosity. The casual question, a test to see if the machine, or the man watching it, is mistaken. The human mind seeks rational explanations, trying to fit the anomaly into a world it understands. A leader's intuition. She accepts the answer, but her eyes betray a lingering doubt. Far away, the water stirs, a ripple that doesn't belong. The first physical sign that the digital ghost has a body. The anomaly returns, more persistent this time. The whisper is growing louder, demanding to be heard. The shift from curiosity to investigation. The operator now hunts the ghost, trying to give it a name and a face. The moment when human instinct and digital logic agree that something is terribly wrong, the Titan awakens its senses. The searchlight of its powerful radar sweeps the sea, no longer trusting the silence. And the silence breaks. The screen blooms into a nightmare, a garden of digital thorns surrounding the lone ship. The voice of dawning horror. The realization that they are not just being watched, they are being hunted. The hunters reveal themselves, rising from the depths like a legion of mythological beasts. The call to action. The ship transforms from a vessel of peace to a fortress of war in the blink of an eye. A classic pincer movement designed to overwhelm, to confuse, to find a weakness in the giant's armor. The giant bares its teeth. Weapons designed for distant naval battles now turn to face a new kind of enemy at their doorstep. The ship's smaller guardians spit fire, trying to hold back the encroaching tide on the flanks. One of the hunters is vaporized, a brief, fiery victory in a rapidly escalating conflict. It adapts. It jinks and weaves through the curtain of fire, a dance of cold, calculated survival. The dawning realization in the nerve center, conventional tactics are not enough. The enemy is too fast, too numerous. A new order is given: unleash the apex predator of the ship's defense, the last line of close quarters protection. The multi-barreled CIWS system comes to life, its barrels beginning their hypersonic spin. The CIWS unleashes a torrent of projectiles so fast, it looks like a solid beam of energy. The frontal assault is shredded. The swarm's primary attack force is met with overwhelming force and turned into a chain of fireballs. A moment of triumph inside the CIC, a small victory that allows for a single, precious breath. But the victory is short-lived. The attack was a feint, and now the true threat on the flanks is closer than ever. Not of fire and steel, but of pure energy, a wave designed to sever the swarm's connection to its master. It works. A large portion of the attacking force is pacified, their engines cutting out, leaving them adrift and harmless. A wave of relief. It seems the technological advantage has won the day. But look closer. A single red light blinks on a deactivated unit, a final hidden command. The deactivated units become a coordinated sacrifice, creating a massive wall of water to blind the giant. The trap is sprung. The crew realizes the enemy's gambit too late. They used their own numbers as a shield. And through the mist, the elite emerge, faster, sleeker, and shielded. From the hunter's perspective, the path is now clear. Its programming is simple. Reach the target, no matter the cost. The giant's rear defenses scream in protest, but the new targets are too agile, their movements too unpredictable. The first deep wound. A glancing blow, but one that silences a piece of the ship's defensive capability. The consequence is immediate. A turret goes dark. A part of the giant's immune system has been compromised. The ship fights back with its own guided interceptors, a more precise tool against a more precise threat. A wounded giant lashing out with every tool it has against a relentless, intelligent foe. From the attacker's view, the world is a blur of motion and fire. It navigates the chaos with inhuman precision. The ship's last resort guardian awakens, a system designed to stop the unstoppable, locking onto the incoming threat. A silver streak is launched, a missile designed not for long range but for a point-blank last-second intervention. A successful intercept, a brilliant flash of light confirms one less threat, a testament to the ship's layered defenses. But the tactical screen tells a grim story. It was a one-for-one trade, and there are still too many attackers left. The order is given to unleash the big guns of the defense. The vertical launch systems prepare to fire. A salvo of larger interceptors roars from the deck, a show of overwhelming power. For a moment, it's beautiful. The arcing trails of the interceptors paint the sky, a promise of deliverance. Each missile homes in on its target, a race between the ship's fastest defenders and its most determined attackers. The first silent flash on the horizon, a distant, clean removal of one of the threats. The shockwave of a nearby intercept rocks the perspective of another hunter, a reminder of its own mortality. From the bridge, the crew watches the distant fireworks, hoping it's the final act of the battle. In slow motion, the last two targets in the volley are vaporized, a perfectly executed defensive maneuver. A moment of false hope in the nerve center, but one man's eyes are still glued to the screen, seeing what others missed. The ghost in the machine revealed, hidden in the electronic noise of the explosions, 4 signals slipped through. The final, chilling command, no longer a call to fight, but a call to endure. The screen tells the brutal truth. 4 attackers have reached the inner sanctum, the red zone where no defense can reach them. A move of desperation, turning the ship's most powerful offensive weapon into a last-ditch defensive tool. Disbelief in the CIC. The order is unorthodox, a sign that all other options have failed. A commander's resolve. In the face of disbelief, she holds firm. The order is final. The main cannon, a weapon of awesome power, lowers its gaze from the horizon to the sea at its feet. The final 4 attackers accelerate. The end game. They sense the vulnerability and press their final advantage. The button is pressed, an act of faith, unleashing the ship's thunder not at the enemy, but at the sea itself. The ship screams in protest as its main gun fires, a self-inflicted blow to create a shield. The projectile impacts the water, a focused detonation designed for a single purpose. It works. The explosion creates a colossal, unnatural wave, using the ocean itself as a defensive wall. The wave crashes into the attackers, a force of nature summoned by the will of man, tossing two of them aside like toys. Two of the final four are neutralized, broken by the sheer, raw power of the water. The CIC watches in horror as two signals emerge from the other side of the watery chaos. Though battered, they recalibrate and continue their final run. Their programming is absolute. Too close, too fast. The ship's fate is sealed in these last silent seconds. The whisper of defeat, the moment of acceptance that the machine has been outmaneuvered. The first impact, rendered in ultra-slow motion, a moment of intimate structural violence. Not a fireball, but a shockwave, a ripple in the steel skin of the giant, silencing the heart of its engine. The second impact, a mirror of the first, a symmetrical surgical strike on the other side. The giant shudders from the twin impacts, its spine broken, its lifeblood draining away. The great ship is silenced. It drifts, powerless, smoke now its only signal to the world. The world that gave them their power vanishes, leaving them in the red glow of emergency. The Titan lists, leaning on the water like a wounded beast, its posture one of defeat. On the bridge, the captain watches the smoke rise from her own vessel, a funeral pyre for her command. But in her eyes, there is no defeat, only the unyielding steel of the human spirit that built the ship. The final portrait, a wounded giant, bleeding smoke into the sunset, a monument to a battle lost. But the story isn't over. Beneath the waves, the world is still alive and watching. A lone survivor of the swarm glides past, not a victor celebrating, but an observer gathering data. Its camera, a single red eye, records the scene, logging the results of its successful mission. Its task complete, it descends into the darkness, returning to the silent depths from whence it came. The battle is over. The Titan is silenced. But as the last echo of the sonar fades,